me and Blaine, this was, how long ago was this, Blaine?
This was J-Boy show. This was J-Boy.
This was like a while ago.
This was Atlanta, yeah.
Me and Blaine we were driving somewhere. It was like a long way to go, so we were listening to just like random stories and facts. And there's this guy that popped up there talking about during World War II, and I'm trying to remember his name. And he like loved war, like being in war. And he would wear a kilt.
Yes.
Okay, around with a sword. He would have, you gotta think, this isn't the Civil War, okay? This isn't like Knights Templar, everybody's fighting each other with swords. This was in like 1941. So he'd walk around with a bagpipe and a sword in a kilt. And they said they'd be like going on missions and he'd be in the woods just playing the bagpipe as they're walking, just trying to sneak up on somebody, just to let people know they were there.
John Malcolm Thorpe.
John, say it again?
His name's John Malcolm Thorpe Fleming Churchill.
And he had a bow and arrow cone. He's out there just destroying Germans with a sword and a bow and arrow. And like Blaine said, can you imagine being like, you're already in World War II, like this sucks. Like it's not a good situation. You're out there with your rifle, you know, maybe you're rocking a machine gun nest, and all of a sudden you hear bagpipes in the distance, and you look to your left, and your buddy gets stuck with a bow and arrow?
It's gotta be scary. Like
in World War II?
Like I'd rather get like shot with a gun.
I'd rather you have a 50 cal on top of a tank that's being flown on a jet than to turn around and see my buddy get hit with a bow and arrow.
At some point, you realize you're fighting Legolas from Lord of the Rings, and you don't feel great about a lot of stuff. A bow and a sword. He was chopping people's heads off.
No joke.
Thing I've heard in my life.
It's a true story.
True story.
True story.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to look it up. I wonder if that's
and
where the inspiration for Scottish cone came from.
Maybe that is.
That's probably, he's
maybe
probably
that
the inspiration.
Is. But I can just only imagine being like in his troop or in his squadron. We're like, all right, hey guys, we're about to go sneak up on these guys. We know where they're at. Like, all right, Rick, Dave, you good to go? All right, John Malcolm Thorpe, Winston Churchill, you ready to go? And he's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And like, you're trying to sneak up on him, and he's playing the bagpipe in the woods.
It. It's like 4th and 1 on the goal line. You say, we're running it right here. Yeah. I'm telling you.
And he said,
we're still going to do it.
And there's a quote from him that when Germany surrendered, or when like the VE Day, he said, man, if we played it right, we could have drugged the war out 3 or 4 years longer. Like, what's wrong with you?
Insane.
What's wrong with you?
Insane.
Yeah, and you think coaching searches are wild. Wisconsin hires Luke Fickell. Nebraska hires Matt Rhule. We'll debate which one's better. We're going to break down the best and worst moments from an epic rivalry week. And I'm Jake Crane, and it's Monday, and this is Crane & Company. The coaching carousel is starting to speed up by the day as the regular season ends and conference championship week is upon us. Now, there will be more jobs that open and close as we go, but there have already been 2 very significant hires made by household name brands in college football already. Matt Rhule looks to resurrect Nebraska, and Luke Fickell just left Cincinnati for Wisconsin, who we all know has a ton of potential. So, who made the best hire between the 2? The answer is pretty obvious. It's Luke Fickell. But Rhule's been able to put lipstick on a pig at both Temple and Baylor, but he's going to be expected to win all the big games he plays right now. Maybe not from the start, but going forward, Nebraska expects championships. Now, Fickell, on the other hand, is the ultimate college head football coach. He fits into that tough Wisconsin mindset and will now be able to play bully ball for real if he plays his cards right. Now, I don't think the question really is which hire is better. The bigger question is, what will former interim Wisconsin head coach Jim Leonhard do now? Didn't they fire Paul Chryst so he could have the keys and take over the castle? Someone is about to get a hell of a DC either way. But as far as Nebraska and Cincinnati goes, give me Cincinnati on the win by the hire. David Cohn, obviously probably pretty excited about what went down this weekend. Michigan beating Ohio State. Called it. You called it.
Oh,
I'm going to give you credit. You and Blaine both called it. Former Michigan quarterback, former Heisman candidate, current father of almost 2, 8 months now.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That went by fast.
Yes.
At least for me. Probably not for you, but
too fast.
For me, it went by pretty fast. My brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane, the mustache is gone.
There's reasons behind that.
There's reasons behind that. You want to go ahead and tell everybody?
Should I?
Yeah, I think you should.
Wait, there's a story?
No, I think you should.
Should I?
I think you should.
I don't want to hurt anybody.
Don't say names. Don't say names.
Well, there's a certain person that has a mustache when I go back home who's he's a loser, right? He's a loser. Everyone makes fun of him, but we're all nice to him. But there's certain people who make fun of him,
and I don't want to
get made fun of.
We're not. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't want to get so I shaved it. And my grandma likes me to be clean shaven when I'm down there, so it's more for her than the other reason.
Why don't you come back here and let Mama brush your hair?
Yeah.
Did y'all have a good Thanksgiving?
Great.
Yeah, it was great.
Loved to hear it.
Great Thanksgiving. I knew that was going to happen. The false hope at the beginning was just that. But Cone, turns out you came through on the big green eggs. What I heard, those are the rumors.
Actually, we put it in the oven. We called an audible because of the weather.
Oh, you had to
we
check
went
it?
oven. We had to check it.
Did you?
We had to kill, hang loose, and then we still ran that play and we
saw
still
that
scored.
bark fire zone.
And we still scored.
Nice. Well, I'm proud of you.
Underrated MVP of the weekend was the sweet potato souffle. Not something I usually go into. My mother-in-law crushed it.
Sweet potato.
Yeah,
it was.
Mother-in-law
Sweet potato really elevated itself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised in the next Thanksgiving food playoff rankings if sweet potato isn't in the top 4.
You know why? Expectations.
And there was no cranberry sauce. And you know what?
You don't got why do you got to do this?
Didn't even think about it not being there until this second.
Wow. It's terrible jelly they put in a can. That's what I'm going to just keep saying.
Goodness gracious, the blasphemy that's on the show on the regular is absolutely insane.
It's not blasphemy.
Cranberry sauce is a must-have at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
A must-have.
Okay.
Well, I didn't, and I had a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, good, me too. All right, Cone. How surprised were you that that Luke Fickell left Cincinnati to go to Wisconsin, considering you thought Jim Leonhard was the heir apparent, right? He pulled the sword out of the stone.
So on Luke Fickell's side, I was a little bit surprised just because it sounded like his name was in the hat for even bigger jobs last season, like Blaine was talking about, and seems like he was committed to Cincinnati. They made the playoff last year, and now they're joining the Big 12. So I thought he was probably going to stay with Cincinnati now that they're going to be a Power 5 school. But him going to Wisconsin, he's a Big 10 guy, that didn't surprise me as much as them hiring him, because I thought the whole reason you got rid of Paul Chryst was, like you said, because you had Jim Leonhard in waiting. That's why I thought. Now I'm very, very confused because Paul Chryst did not do a bad job at Wisconsin. I mean, this was like the first, I think, losing season that they had, and they got rid of him
Paul Chryst,
early in the year.
That situation kind of reminds me of the Malzahn situation at Auburn a little bit.
Okay.
I think there's some parallels there. You've guys had success. You're looking at trajectory maybe. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin offensively had been absolute hot dog water the past couple of years and didn't seem to be getting better, and there didn't seem to be adjustments. So I think maybe it was a trajectory thing. But like you, I thought they pulled the ripcord because they were like, look, Jim Leonhard's going to leave if we don't do this.
Yes.
Like, we're going to lose our only opportunity to get him. The thing with Luke Fickell, this kind of reminds me, and I like to make comparisons, metaphors, analogies, whatever you want to use. It's kind of like, all of a sudden, you're a normal guy. You've been dating this girl for 3 years, something like that. Everybody, thinks she's the one. Y'all are going to get married, whatever. All of a sudden, you get famous. Okay, something happens. You invent time travel or something. You get famous, and you dump her to go be with Selena Gomez. That's what I felt like. Because I feel like
Selena Gomez in this, though?
Well, Wisconsin compared to Cincinnati. We're talking about Wisconsin is the celebrity right now. Cincinnati just moved up. They just moved up status. They're going to go Power 5. Not saying they're not going to hit the ground running. We've talked about how good of a place that is to coach, how good of a market that is, how easy it is to recruit in that area, especially offensive linemen. But it just seems to me like Luke Fickell, like Selena Gomez, hit him up on Instagram a couple nights ago and was like, listen, I like the way you move. I like the things you do. You want to be together. And he said, look, how many times am I going to get a chance to get DM to be with Selena Gomez? I know it's working out over here, but let's go take a shot at the big, because guys, Wisconsin, you can win in Wisconsin. And look at the Big Ten.
Sure.
Look at the Big Ten. It's Ohio State, it's Michigan, and it's Penn State. And it's nobody else. It's nobody else right now.
Well, Wisconsin, obviously, Wisconsin's won, many Big Ten
and you're in the
championships
West.
Just in the past 10 years.
You're in the Big Ten West.
In that scenario, that analogy to me, OSU would be Selena Gomez, because that's where he ultimately wanted to be, and he was the interim coach.
That's Rihanna.
Look, he's going to go be a head coach in the Big Ten. I get it. It's from the other side that I was a little bit more surprised. So what does Jim Leonhard do now?
Goes to Cincinnati. That'd
be the
be
head
great.
coach?
That would be hilarious.
To be the head coach? That would be funny.
If I'm Cincinnati, no, it's spite. Like, I'm the girl that just got left. Where's your brother? Like, I'm keeping it in the family. I want you to see me at gatherings. When it falls off a cliff with Selena Gomez, I'm going to be right there. I'm going to be right there happy with your brother.
And you've been working out?
Yeah, like, it's just a lot been going on. All of a sudden, your diet changes. Skin's better. Just a lot. That's what I
was saying. Skincare routine and stuff like that. Well, the thing about ever bringing up Selena Gomez, I mean, Luke got offered good jobs last year. Maybe not fully offered, but was in the mix. Notre Dame,
yeah,
was in the mix. I don't think he took that because Cincinnati was in the college football playoff. You had Michigan State reach out to him. So I don't know why now's the time. I don't know if it was a timing thing for him, but I think both these are good hires. Do I think Luke Fickell's the better hire? Yeah, but I mean, but let's not doubt what Matt Rhule's done. I mean, he took a 2-10 Temple team in 2013 to 10-4 in 2016.
Yeah,
AAC championship. Also taking Baylor from on a 1-10 team, 1-11 team to an 11-3 team and winning a bowl game. Is he the best recruiter? No. But that's the difference, I think, him and Luke Fickell. I mean, Luke Fickell's put out 14 guys in the NFL at Cincinnati. Yeah. At that same time, Luke was at Cincinnati, Wisconsin put out 12 guys. Yeah. All right, so you're getting, and 7-5 against Power 5 teams, but look at the people he lost to. Luke Fickell's lost to Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and Bama. Yeah. You know, so you put him somewhere to really where he can really go. He can let loose, take the shackles off, kind of recruit, get guys
in the back.
At Wisconsin, and you have somewhat of a pulse of an offense. You will run that side of the Big Ten.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, Purdue won it by the hair of their chinny chin. You scored 10 points against Iowa. You're going to win by 9. When I look at Matt Rhule, I think Matt Rhule is a good coach. But I don't think Nebraska needed a good coach. I think Nebraska needed an elite coach. I think Nebraska needed somebody that when they hired him, kids said, I don't care if it's the middle of Guam, the middle of an island with zombies all around it, I am going there to play. Matt Rhule, Deion Sanders. Somebody like a
Deion Sanders is already an elite coach.
No, that's
no, and I don't think Auburn should have hired him.
Name brand. But here's
Nebraska's
my point.
In a different situation.
Here's my point. Matt Rhule has done a good job of putting lipstick on a pig. He did it at Temple. He did it at Baylor. We're going to keep seeing how Dave Aranda going to do after the good year that they had. He's been there long enough for us to have some, theories on how it's going to go for them. But when it comes to Matt Rhule at Nebraska, Matt Rhule will do a good job from an accountability standpoint. They'll be sound schematically. They'll make good decisions. They'll manage the clock well. But is Matt Rhule going to get the guys at Nebraska that is going to be able to win the Big Ten? Is he going to be able to get the players consistently to be able to win the big games that he's played in? Go back to Baylor. How many ranked teams did he beat?
None, I don't think.
Not one.
Nope.
Not one. Okay, go back to Temple. He did have a ranked win. I think he had one ranked win in his second year. There wasn't a ton there. That's not to discredit the job that he did at Temple or Baylor. But let's not act like he slayed a bunch of dragons when he really slayed a bunch of Komodo dragons. There's a big difference between a dragon that's flying around the House of Targaryen and the one that you see running around in Cancun, Mexico by the hotel. So while Matt Rhule is a good coach, I think Nebraska needed a guy that was going to attract recruits there right off the rip that can get big-time players there, not just, 4-star here, 4-star there. We're gonna do it the old Nebraska way and do it just with accountability, this, that, and the other. You need that. You need culture, but you need big-time players. I don't think Nebraska got a guy that is going to turn them into what they think they are and what they think they deserve to be and what the standard is there. I think Luke Fickell can do it because I've seen him do it.
I agree with you. Matt Rhule will do a better job than Scott Frost did at Nebraska.
That's
not saying a lot,
but that's not what they want.
Because it has been bad. Yeah. He's 47-43, Matt Rhule is, as a head coach. Nebraska was in a unique position that they could really take a chance because things have been so bad there. In a way that if Auburn goes and hires someone like Deion Sanders or Wisconsin hires him or even Urban Meyer, that they're not in a position where they need to do something like that. I feel like Nebraska needed to take a bigger chance to go get someone who can actually turn around the program to be a top 10 win team that they are. They're an all-time top 10 win program.
Yeah.
And they're in a unique position where they've been down for so long, they could make an outside the box hire. I don't see Matt Rhule coming in and winning the Big Ten there.
No, I don't see Nebraska winning the Big Ten at all. Wisconsin will win the Big Ten before Nebraska wins the Big Ten, in my opinion. And I would not be shocked if you saw with what we have in the transfer portal now, if you saw Wisconsin win the Big Ten West next year. I would not be shocked. But seeing where Jim Leonhard goes is fascinating to me. That's what I'm going to keep my eye on.
Whereas if the news broke that Urban Meyer was the head coach at Nebraska, what would you say?
They're back. They're back.
I think they could win the Big Ten in 3 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
Again, say what you want about Urban Meyer, and believe me, people will. But he has won everywhere he's gone outside of the NFL. And I know another guy that's won everywhere he's gone outside of the NFL, and he's in Tuscaloosa right now. So I think they needed and I'm not saying Deion Sanders is an elite. We don't know yet with Deion Sanders. Okay, but guess what I know? Guess what I know? Guess what okay, but not at that level. You're going to compare what Matt Rhule's done at 47 and 43
No, not
to Urban Meyer and
Urban Meyer, Nick Saban.
Well,
that's not what I'm saying.
That's what we were
but the guy still won college, did bad in the NFL, and won in college, did bad in the NFL, and came back.
Yes, but okay, if he goes 47 and 43 in Nebraska, they're going to fire him.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, that's just the...
Well, I mean, yeah, that's fine, but he was having upcoming teams, right? Like, what has he done? Only got teams better. That's all he's done when he's coached.
Nobody is arguing that. That's not what we're arguing. What we're saying is we haven't seen Matt Rhule win big games consistently. And again, at Temple, the schedule's a little bit different.
Tough.
When he was at Baylor in the Big 12, that conference was I would say it's a lot deeper now than it was then. We're going to find out in the Big 10. Now, that's not saying he won't beat Rutgers. That's not saying he won't beat Indiana. It's not saying he won't beat Michigan State when they're down. But is he going to be able to go toe-to-toe consistently or at all with Ohio State, with Michigan? Now, Wisconsin's got Luke Fickell. Penn State and James Franklin, what they're doing. Illinois with Brett Bielema is getting more interesting by the day. Northwestern's a dumpster fire. Indiana goes up and down like a bobber in a lake full of brim. But we're about to find out with Matt Rhule. I just think it's a safer bet with Luke Fickell at a place like Wisconsin that meets his identity, that meets his mindset, than it is Matt Rhule at Nebraska. But we'll see. That's why they play the games. What does the Booster Club say?
All right, Booster Club, what is up? Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. Let's go to, I believe this is Jimbo Eagle with the donation. # fan rant. It says, although my guys from Q's fell off quick after that big start, we'll still have a big opportunity to finish 8-5 with a bowl win. Thank y'all for putting my squad on the map. Q's for life, fellas.
Yeah, no, look, it's been a great year for Syracuse. I know with Schrader getting hurt, Sean Tucker really hasn't had the year that he's wanted to when it comes down to it. But Dino Babers was on the hot seat coming into the season. Watching Syracuse have success, seeing that the recruits saw it too, that you can have fun there, that the Dome's a fun place to play. Will Syracuse be a team that's consistently 8-5, 9-4? No. But I think Dino's secured his future for at least 3 more years. You're seeing money is getting pumped into that program. I think you're going to see them become a little bit more of a player in recruiting than what they have been. And Dino can do it on the trail. He really can. So it was good to see Coach Babers really be able to turn that place around when he was on the hot seat. I'm interested to watch Syracuse's trajectory over the next 2 to 3 years because, guys, with Clemson kind of the way they're at, where they're at right now, not that dominant force that we have seen. Now, that could change. DJU, they obviously missed at quarterback there at the skill position when Will Shipley is your best player. I think you got problems. Not to say he isn't a good player, but I've seen the aliens that Clemson has when they're cooking on the outside and how those jump balls turn into 70-30 balls instead of 50-50 balls. So the ACC, to me, it's starting to create a little bit of a vacuum at the top. And if you notice, with USC and UCLA leaving, and Texas and Oklahoma leaving, you're starting to see some vacuums be created in these other conferences. Who's going to step up and take advantage of it? Because when your boss leaves or gets promoted, and there's the opening for that boss, you want to throw your name in the ring, and we'll see if you're good enough to do it. What else?
All right, SS Austin, $2 donation.
Appreciate it, brother.
Poor damn Eagle. Says, do y'all think Freeze could still go to Auburn?
Look, at this point, my thing on Hugh is this, and you've had people, I just find it hard to believe that John Cohen and anybody involved in this search at Auburn didn't realize the blowback that there would be once it gets out there that you are talking to Hugh Freeze. If you're going to let Twitter run the athletic department, then make Twitter the AD. then make Twitter, call Elon Musk, say you'll pay Twitter to be the athletic director. I get that people are cognizant and aware of the situation with Hugh Freeze, but I don't think a lot of them understand the situation. I think we have an MSNBC, CNN thing where narratives start getting put out that aren't factual and it gets ran with. I guarantee you 50% of the people that don't like Hugh Freeze think he was the one who was allegedly committed sexual assault at Liberty. They probably don't know that was committed in 2016. Hugh Freeze got the Liberty job in 2019. He wasn't even there for that. The person who had alleged the assault, which went to court, was investigated, nobody was charged with anything. The players actually sued the university for $100 million each. Now, that got thrown out as well because, when you go back and look into the situation, the players were suing because on their transcripts, it said that they were under investigation for this. So they were talking about potential earnings and things like that. They wanted that out in the light, and that got shown out in the light. Right when it got shown, they dropped the lawsuit. So I think a lot of Auburn fans don't understand the facts here. Hugh Freeze had nothing to do with sexual assault at Liberty. Now, he DM'd one of the ladies who had said, one of the girls who had talked about the athletic director, Ian McCall, who I don't even think was the AD when this happened, defending him. So nobody gets charged with anything. It wasn't there when it happened. It's stupid to DM the girl defending his athletic director, saying that he's a very, a religious person, whatever. We can have that argument. Doesn't make you a sexual predator or anything like that. I think some Auburn fans are confused. If we want to talk about transgressions, let's talk about the Tampa escort service. That was a stupid thing. Not the first coach to do it, I can promise you. Most of them are doing it with college girls, with 18 to 22-year-olds, like Joey Freshwater, that these same people wanted to be the head coach at Auburn and were let down when it didn't happen. So I think the facts about Hugh Freeze need to get thrown out there before everybody just piles on and you let this narrative run wild. I bet there are Auburn fans right now that are like, wait a minute, Hugh Freeze wasn't even there when all this happened? That's how bad we have gotten to where people don't do their own research. They just look on social media or they hear something from a friend and they just run with it. If you don't want Hugh Freeze because he called an escort service, we can have that conversation. If you don't want Hugh Freeze because you think he's going to be an 8-4 coach and he's diet Gus Malzahn, we can have that conversation. But if you're going to insult somebody and you're going to treat somebody like a sexual predator, at least get your facts straight. Because these same people, the minute their son would get accused of something, would be the first people saying he didn't do it, regardless if they got charged or not. Because we don't live in innocent until proven guilty anymore. No, it's who is alleging and what are they alleging. That proves your innocence or guilt. And what it comes down to is ignorance. It's ignorance, plain and simple. That's what it is, in my opinion.
All right, let's go to Malcolm Martin, $2 donation. He says, all right, fellas, Christmas movie poll tournament. Winner moves on 16 movies. I mean, we could.
16
different movies, bracket style?
Bracket style?
Bracket style?
It's got to be.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm down.
I mean, are we counting Die Hard as a Christmas movie? That's the biggest question.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Why is it still a conversation?
Yeah, some people say Spider-Man's a Thanksgiving movie because he's setting up a turkey.
That's a problem with society. Everyone thinks their opinion matters. It doesn't.
That's true.
Right?
Only yours.
Exactly. All right, Carrie Hughes with the $2 donation. She says, Jake, preach. She says, y'all also pass the plate on this Monday AM.
I'm passing it.
I'll pass it.
I'm passing it.
Depends on what's in it.
Just no cranberry sauce on it.
Stop. Why am I dealing with this?
No, look, you're just going to have to deal with this.
Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. We're coming at cranberry sauce.
That was
for you asking me that, you shouldn't even have to ask that question. Why'd you ask the question? Why'd you ask the question?
I'm out in the game. Nobody.
Why'd you ask the question?
Nobody here said that Die Hard was a Christmas movie.
That was from the
not
Booster Club last week.
That was from the Booster Club last week.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce is trash, but Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Elf's going to win, by the way. What else we got?
God, I hate you guys. All right, let's go to Saved by the Clay. He says, Blaine, please use your Flaming Dragon powers to make Georgia Tech not hire another triple option coach. Needs to be O'Brien, Brent Key, or Dan Mullen. Would love your commentary.
Ooh, Dan Mullen at Georgia Tech.
There's a name for you.
Dan Mullen at... Why does that just make sense to me?
It's got to be him or Bill.
Dan Mullen.
Why does that just make sense to me? He's not running the triple option. He's going to run the spread option.
Dan looks like
I think Dan was Sims.
What if Dan Mullen had been hired at Nebraska? What would you say?
Gross.
Would that be a better hire than Matt Rhule?
Spider-Man Jeff.
Really?
Basically to me.
I thought Dan Mullen was a disaster at the end of his...
He was at Florida. So was Matt Rhule of the Panthers.
Well, it's the Panthers. NFL. It's different. Not like Dan Mullen, players losing their minds on the sidelines.
Well, he kept Todd Grantham too long. But let's not act. Dan Mullen won the East the year or two before he
for
got
sure,
fired.
but y'all ripped him at the end.
Yes, because he
didn't rip him.
No,
wait. When did I rip him? When did I rip him?
You always said if there was one coach who you would take to call a 2-point conversion
it'd
play
be Dan
at the
Mullen.
goal line, you always said
I never ripped Dan.
You said Dan Mullen's not a head coach. Dan Mullen is
I think I ripped Todd. I do not think
I don't disagree that some guys would be better coordinators than head coaches.
Yeah,
but if he's going to be a head coach, then
I don't remember ripping him. I remember talking about Todd Grantham.
I remember
they couldn't tackle a addition problem in a second grade classroom.
A defense,
and they're yelling at each other, kind of like the Broncos. I'm gonna get to that. All right, one more.
Travis Elrod says, anybody who thinks Die Hard is not a Christmas movie clearly doesn't understand the New Testament theology.
That's exactly right. And should be audited by the IRS.
Yep.
Those are my two things. Like which we're going to get to the World Cup, and you're going to understand my way of thinking on this. All right, one more. I lied.
Okay, Katie Rose 1191. What's up, Katie?
Katie.
Who should Iowa hire at OC once Kirk gets Brian a job in the NFL?
Is he going to do it, though? Is he going to do it? I think Kirk's just playing with y'all. I think Kirk's like, yeah, we're gonna move Brian. Who in the NFL is gonna hire Brian Ferentz? I don't care if it's to fill up the water. Get away from my offense. Ew. It's like he's like. I feel like you should have to wear a mask when you're around him. Kind of like if you're an offensive guy or an offensive player. If it was me and I was Iowa and I was gonna go hire somebody, I would. Kendall Briles ain't leaving Arkansas unless they just threw the absolute bag at him. Man, that's a good question. There's some candidates out there, some young guys that I think they'd take a shot. Would Garrett Riley, if Iowa dropped a bag on him, leave TCU to go there and try and fix it? I'm not sure. I think you'd see them actually get somebody from the NFL. I'd have to think of names. That's a good question. I would just be surprised if Ferentz, put his son in the basket and put him down the river and hope that the Pharaoh King finds him.
Don't do that.
All right. Let's go best or worst.
Best and worst from the weekend, boys.
Yep. You want to start with
what
college?
You got? Yeah.
All right. Here's my best. TCU. TCU. All these other teams struggling a little bit. Look, I know Iowa State's not the Globetrotters, okay? They're not 2019 LSU or 2020 Bama. But you're just coming off a hard-fought win against Baylor. All right, you're on a big high. Kicker comes in, Toro, emergency kick. You get it. You go to an Iowa State team that runs something funky on defense. 3-3-5 is the triple option of defense. I'll continue to say it. Something you don't see a ton, and when you do, it can give you problems if you're not sound in what you're doing. But they manhandled these guys. Mm-hmm. They manhandled them, took care of business. And with C.J. Stroud, with it going down like it did in the game against Michigan, without Blake Corum playing, to me, and Oregon losing with Bo Nix, how are the two only candidates for the Heisman not in this order? Caleb Williams, Max Duggan. How is it not those two? I think Max Duggan has legit. If USC goes down against Utah, which they have before, we've seen it, and TCU drops a 50-piece with some honey biscuits and sweet potato fries on Kansas State, and Max Duggan goes off, guys, Max Duggan, he may win the thing. He may win the thing. And the more I watch this TCU team, even though I'm back and forth on who I think is going to win that TCU-Kansas State game. I'm just telling you, Cone, Kansas State is not a team you want to see right now. They're playing good ball. Will Howard's the guy. Deuce Vaughn's hiding in offensive lineman's back pocket. He doesn't pop out till they're in the end zone. Surprise, surprise. Or he's helping fight the Dark Empire on Star Wars in the woods. A little Ewok running around out there.
He had 230 total yards on Saturday.
Woo! He's little Darren Sproles. He actually does remind me of Eckler, but he's not as thick. Yeah. He's not as thick as Eckler, who's, built like a one of those short refrigerators you put in your dorm. It's just tough. Tough to tackle those guys. It's like me trying to catch Millie, the French bulldog puppy. It's not that she's super duper fast. It's that she's so short to the ground, I've got to bend over to catch her. And by the time I'm bending over, she's gaining ground on me.
She's gone.
That's a real thing. It's science. But yeah, to me, my best is TCU. Can they keep on keeping on, as Joe Dierte would say? And then worst, Ohio State's defense. I thought y'all brought Jim Knowles over here to stop this. And it's not like Michigan's out here, it's not like they're LeBron in the Heat with the big three. J.J. McCarthy hadn't thrown anything but a party all year. And you let him go out there, and I got to give him credit. Now, were guys running wide open? Yes. When you run zero, your plan, you bring Jim Knowles in here, we're going to mix up fronts, we're going to mix up coverages, we're going to do things. But against Michigan, we're just going to run zero. And that to me, Jim Knowles is a genius defensively. But maybe the two worst game plans I saw this weekend defensively was Ohio State's and Auburn's. And for two totally opposite reasons. If you are in zero, cover zero, there is no help anywhere. Okay, does it help you stop the run? Yes. Is it good against condensed formations? Yes. But your DBs better be locking people up. Or if you give up a big play, it should be 25 yards, 30 yards. Oh, they're killing us with the back shoulder. I can live with that. You let Cornelius Johnson roast you twice. That's the only way. Michigan, early in that game, was not going to go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plays down the field and score. They weren't. They needed big plays to get them going. And the minute, you said this on the recap yesterday, the minute Cornelius Johnson hit him for the second one, it changed in their mind. Oh, no. Like, we're keeping Michigan in this game by allowing them big plays. Not taking credit away from J.J. McCarthy. They didn't even have Blake Corum. Thought the backup running backs ran really well. But that game early, if you were watching, Ohio State was kicking their ass a little bit. When it was 10-3 and they were driving, about to go make it 17-3, I looked at Blaine and said, if they score a touchdown here, they're in trouble.
Yep.
Michigan's in big trouble. You let them get back with big plays because even if it's 3rd and 7, you don't have to be in 0, man. You don't have to be in 0. They're going to throw it. They're going to throw it. You know, if they run it and they get 5 and you got to stop them on 4th and 2, well, then so be it.
Yep.
Do that the whole game and beat me. But then, after that second big play, they went back to what they normally do. Stop running so much cover 0, which opened up what? The running game. They helped Michigan pitch backwards for them.
Yes.
They told them what pitch was coming. So I've got to give credit to Michigan. That's where it starts. But Ohio State's defense, the plan, I thought, was almost arrogant. It was borderline narcissism, to be honest with you. That you're going to go out there and say, you know what? We're just going to run cover 0 the whole time early, because we don't think your receivers can touch us at all. And it's not like Michigan's out there with Iowa's guys on offense.
Yeah, well, there's precedent for it. There's precedent because Michigan has never won the big play battle in that game. For as long as I've been a part of the rivalry, Michigan.
I can't remember it.
So, and you understand their identity as a run-first team. You said it, put 8 in the box, put 9 in the box, stop the Michigan run, and they did that in the first half. Michigan rushed for 8 yards. It was the big play that kept them in it. Both teams were trying to take advantage of the other team's corners, and Michigan actually won that battle for the first time in a long time.
Well, when you rob Peter to pay Paul, you better make sure that Peter doesn't go out there and score 3 touchdowns over 65 yards.
Exactly.
That's what you better do. That's the best way to put it. And then Auburn's defensive plan was just a joke, but get that Schmetting guy out of here anyway. Well, the Boise boys, line up back in your Scooby-Doo van and turn on that hippie music and just take it on back to Idaho, buddy.
Well, your worst is a great segue, because my best has to be J.J. McCarthy, Jim Harbaugh, and the Michigan Wolverines. Really a win for the ages, man. I mean, I told you guys last week, if you're a Michigan fan and you're sitting at 11-0, you have to be so excited because J.J. McCarthy, your quarterback, hasn't even played his best game.
I know.
Hasn't played his best game. He's been missing on some of his deep shots, and here you sit 11-0, but you will not go to 12-0 unless he plays his best game. And then he did. He goes 12 for 24, 263, 3 TDs, and most importantly, 0 interceptions. No turnovers in minus territory, which is exactly what we were talking about in our keys to victory. He also had 27 rush yards, added another score on the ground. 12-0, boys. 12-0, you're going to play in the conference championship. That's the best of the weekend for me.
Ace, your son is 2-0 against Ohio State. That's crazy. This game, J.J. McCarthy and Michigan kind of reminds me, I think Borat said it best about his brother Bilo. They say, look at Bilo, say, you never get this, you never get this. Then one day Bilo break cage.
He get this.
And he get this.
They got this. And he got this.
J.J. McCarthy, I've got a new nickname for J.J. McCarthy. Abercrombie. Abercrombie. There it is.
And my worst from the weekend, it has to be LSU. It's still an unbelievable season. You're ahead of schedule. This may be the worst LSU team Brian Kelly ever coaches. You have to be excited about the direction of the program. But this past Saturday, this is not a good Texas A&M team. This is a 4-win Texas A&M team, and you gave up 274 rushing yards to it. Devon Achane just
one guy, the only guy that could beat you on that offense is Achane. That's it. Achane, but he's got him a few on. Harold Perkins, freak show. Thought he still played really well, but LSU just looked like LSU did what I have not seen them do all year. They showed up to a game and thought they were just better than the other team, and they didn't have to worry about anything but just rolling their helmet out there. And this is growing pains. If you're LSU, this is the worst of the worst. Now look, were you going to beat Georgia? We're going to talk about those lines later. Probably not. So is it something that you should just be beating your head against the fence post at night? We blew it. Probably not. But this is growing pains when you're trying to change the culture. This loss is going to come in handy if LSU makes a run at the beginning and the middle part of next year and they get into the back end. This is one that Brian Kelly will point at and say, hey, guys, you remember when we had a chance to go to the playoff and we went to play Texas A&M that's not only losing, but they have cannons shooting at players from UMass in the end zone, and we got destroyed by only one guy on that team that could destroy us because we just rolled our helmet out there because we thought we were that good? No, you have to take every game like it's the Super Bowl. It's impossible to do, but that's the standard. I think LSU is going to learn from this. This is growing pains. And any LSU fan that is complaining about Brian Kelly after he beats Nick Saban and wins the West in year one, maybe you need to do some self-evaluation before you look at Brian Kelly and say, I've seen some of that, not a lot of that. I think LSU's fan base is a lot smarter than what people give them credit for. They're just diehard like everybody else's is. I am very interested to see year 2 under Brian Kelly, especially if Jaden Daniels comes back to see how that kind of works out. Because like you said, from a roster standpoint, this will be the worst LSU team he has.
All right. Chris, I got your donation, buddy, so you're good. Mine's best for college, Caleb Williams. Wrapped it up.
I think he wrapped it up.
Gifted.
Max Duggan doesn't have a chance.
No. Put the crown on his head. He hit the Heisman pose at the game. I mean, he threw for 250, 1 passing touchdown through there, 98 QBR rating.
Touchdowns on the ground.
Ran for 3 touchdowns on the ground. You see what the kid is. You see what the kid's going to become. The closest thing to Patrick Mahomes I've seen in a long time. I don't even know if there's a comp even close to Patrick Mahomes other than Caleb Williams. But my good would be Caleb Williams. My bad's Oregon, guys. You blew it. Look, there's a certain...
You blew it.
You can lose games, all right? And you can lose games. It was how you lose games, all right? You're up 31-14 going into the fourth quarter. You drop a punt. You fumble the ball, and Dan Lanning goes for it on his own 30. You deserve to lose that game. This will be a learning experience. I still believe in the Dan Lanning as a head coach at the University of Oregon, but stuff like that can't happen.
What
in the biggest moments of the year to get you to a championship game where it was when the pressure was at the highest. All right, this is what worries me with teams. The pressure was at the highest, you crumble.
Can I say something on this? Because I think it's a funny point. I don't know why Dan went for that. Dan's a defensive coach. Part of me thinks that Kenny Dillingham, who probably knew he was getting the job at Arizona State, on 4th and 1, Dan was like, all right, guys, let's punt it. Kenny's like, Coach, we got the play. Like, all right, Kenny, you for real? Like, yeah. He's like, hey, we're going to Arizona State anyway. But no, in all honesty, I find it funny when you're like, wait, what a crazy coaching decision made by the offense and the head coach in tandem. As the OC is accepting the job at Arizona State, I almost feel like, they were taking bets up there. Like, the assistants by him that he brought in as OC are all going to go with him anyway. So he's like, guys, how much you want to bet I can get Dan to go for this? They're like, nah, man, Kenny, don't do it. He's like, no, we're going to do it. All right, hey, Dan, let's do this. I swear, part of me thinks,
in all your days
crazy
of
stuff
coaching,
like that happens.
I was going to ask, in all your days of coaching, have y'all heard of stuff like that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Most of the time you hear from coaches that know they're getting fired, typically. They'll be like...
I hate that for the guys playing, man.
Well, look, it's again, but those guys playing want to go for it on 4th and 1. Like that.
In that situation, I'm talking about there could be a different scenario where...
yeah, guys are getting fired. Like, if a guy knows he's getting fired... or a coordinator knows he's getting fired, there's no, we're letting
like what you're talking about with the game plan at Auburn. No, again, I'm not saying that anyone is out here throwing football games. No. I'm saying if you purposely put in a bad plan to rush 3 and drop 8 the entire game because you knew you were getting fired. I hate that for the kids who, a lot of those guys, that'll be the last football game they ever play.
And I agree with that. And some coaches will never do that because they're looking forward to their next job. But some coaches are vindictive and have egos like that. They'll do it, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it works out. It's just, it's nature of the beast.
But at the end of the day, that's on Dan Lanning. Like,
Dan, it all stops with
Kenny
Dan
Dillingham,
Lanning.
you can say whatever you want, but Dan, that's on you, buddy, not the OC.
Yeah, I was shocked that Dan went.
Dumb.
I was
Dumb
shocked.
decision.
All right, NFL, my best. Look, you win 5 out of 6, I'll call you the Washington Commanders. Okay?
Ew.
I want to give them the players. And we've had Ron Rivera on the show. I disagree sometimes with the way Ron handles things, the way he handled the Jack Del Rio situation and stuff like that. But to be going through all the stuff that they've gone through off the field with the disaster that Dan Snyder is, nothing but negative headlines, I think it's galvanized this team. Carson Wentz, you ain't playing the rest of the year if it's me. Taylor, get your hands off my Heineke. You won 5 of the last 6? I mean, to be able to put all that noise away, and I know they're professionals, but they're still human beings. I think it shows you the character of the men in that locker room. I think it shows you the leadership and the trust that the players and the coaches have in that locker room. And I've been as hard on Washington, the way they do things, as anybody. But I'm not going to sit up here and say that this isn't impressive. And it goes to show you that sometimes negativity and that outside noise and all that hate, inside that locker room can galvanize guys. They talk about circle the wagons, let us against the world mentality. I know it hadn't been pretty. I know they haven't beaten some of the best teams in the league. To be honest with you, should have beaten the Vikings. I should be saying they've won 6 in a row, but they lost to the Vikings 20-17. I want to give credit to the men and the coaches in that locker room. Nobody else. The men and the coaches in the locker room at Washington, I want to give the credit. And guys, this is without Chase Young. They've done this without Chase Young. So we're going to see with that division that they're in, they could be one of the biggest underdog stories of the whole season. The worst, the Denver Broncos. Boy, did y'all get fleeced by the Seahawks. Oh, did they run? They ran into your house and stole all the gold while you were in the bathroom and just ran out with it. I mean, Russell Wilson's getting in fights with defensive players on the sidelines, which a Russell Wilson fight is the defensive player saying, hey, man, let's effing go. Let's effing go. Russell says, you're right, man. Let's go, man. Come on. We got to do this together. Got to do this together. Like this.
They start aggressively reading Bible
They
verses
start
at
aggressively
each other.
reading. Russell Wilson's like, guys, Ephesians 3:12.
Yeah.
Let's go score a touchdown. Stop. But no, it's just the Broncos, disaster.
Terrible.
Disaster. Is Nathaniel Hackett going to get fired? Because they're going to fire Nathaniel Hackett before they fire Russell Wilson. You already paid him too much. Like, that contract is the contract. It is so bad. Y'all made the Panthers look good with Sam Darnold, who runs like a brand new born giraffe. Like, I am shocked at how bad they are. Like, and did I think they were going to be this dominant team? And no. I thought the AFC West was going to be a whole hell of a lot better than it actually was, or actually is right now. But man, it's just gross. Now the defense isn't even playing good. Like, at some point, just in football, it's like I think you see it at A&M a little bit, some of these places. When you know the offense is terrible, okay? That's why what Iowa's done on defense is so impressive. They know. They know better than anybody, okay? The Broncos had the #1 red zone defense and the last-ranked red zone offense. Okay, so they know. At some point, beginning of the year, all right, you can get away with the offense, it's going to get better. Middle of the year, maybe we're still winning games, maybe they're going to figure out. You get toward the end of the year, and you know you're not winning the championship, and the offense is still trash, part of you defensively, maybe you're not going in there as hard as you were earlier. Hey, maybe I'll check it to man by myself out here. Maybe I need some tape. I just think at this point, the Broncos defense is looking at, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying these are human beings. I think at some point, the Broncos defense is looking at the offense like, yeah, we got no chance because y'all suck. Because they do. It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. I got a place for Brian Ferentz to go in the NFL. Send him the Broncos. Why not? Let's go hand in hand. We can walk together and flow like the rivers of ancient Babylon. So anyway,
Man,
that's
what's
best
your
and worst.
Oh, that's your worst.
Yeah, worst is the Broncos.
My best from the NFL is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Finally.
Told you boys yesterday, home dog, plus 150 on the money line. Ravens, they've been doing this. The Ravens have been giving up leads in the second half.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars come back 18 points in the fourth quarter. They erase a 9-point deficit. Multiple fourth down conversions from Trevor Lawrence and the boys. Zay Jones is out here catching every single pass in the game. It was just unbelievable.
Hey, if your last name's Jones on the Jaguars, you're catching passes.
Zay Jones, the touchdown to another Jones. Marvin Jones in the end zone. And then when they come down and they get it to 27-26 and a PAT would tie it up, what does Doug Peterson do?
Oh, he's going for it. Philly special.
What are we going to do? Little Philly special action. We're going to go for 2 and either win this game, lose this game right here. Here's the 2-point conversion play.
Let's go ahead and play it.
Lawrence in the
This 2-point conversion is brought to you by Head & Shoulders.
Dart.
It's that easy?
Guys,
Dart.
I don't know
Jacksonville
what
Jaguars.
NFL coaches I need to call, but for a 2-point conversion, guys are going to the outside.
Yeah, it's not hard.
There's going to be a pick play to the flat.
They're running 3 plays. They're running 3 plays. The play we saw Clemson run, the play to beat Bama, the play we saw LSU run to beat Bama, the pick play, or you're getting Philly special, some sort of trick play, or everybody's going to run outside and they're going to try and do that. It's pretty.
Blows my mind.
Actually, you know what? There's a 4th one. They love the Utah play, the shovel pass. They love the shovel pass.
Is that what y'all call it, Utah?
Yeah, we call it the Utah play. Urban Meyer really was what started getting his bag with it at Utah. That's when it started to really take off. But this wasn't the only game where this happened. The Cardinals, which talk about falling off a cliff, Kingsbury. That's what they've done. The Chargers went for 2 as well and got it. I mean,
Awesome.
Gerald Everett, South Alabama, baby. Yeah. We went to San Diego State and kicked their ass. Gerald had like 3 touchdowns, like 250 yards.
And
worst,
that
Dave?
hit the over for Baby Cone by the hook.
Great, awesome. What's your worst, David?
My worst from the NFL, it has to be the NFC South. I mean, the Bucs go on the road, lose at the Browns. You had the Falcons lose. It was wild. The Falcons lost. You had the Saints get shut out, I think, for the first time in 21 years.
Is Dennis Allen fired?
Look, it's not good down there.
You got to fire him.
We'll say the Panthers, we just talked about, had a huge win. You were playing the Broncos. Congratulations. But my point is, in the NFC South, no team has a winning record right now.
It's disgusting.
No team in the NFC South has a winning record.
It's disgusting. I tell you what's funny. When you beat like the Broncos now, it's kind of like on the heavyweights movie we always talk about. When he's like, congratulations, you're now the fattest boy in camp.
How did
and everybody claps.
How do we get there? We're talking about the Raiders, the Raiders back-to-back. Well, we'll get there in a second, actually. Raiders, we talked about, Blaine was been saying they added Devontae Adams and somehow got worse. How did the Broncos add Russell Wilson and get worse?
It's
impressive,
almost impressive,
man. It's all simulation.
It's impressive.
It's all scripted?
It's all scripted.
Okay.
It has to be something. I don't know. It's not like the Broncos are a bad offense. You got Jerry Jeudy, you got Sutton. Like, you got guys there. You got Melvin. I know you have a couple of key injuries. Your offensive line's not bad. It's young. It's got to be the coach. That's the only way I can think of it. But I'll do my best for the NFL is Jalen Hurts. I mean, first of all, you broke the rushing record for the Eagles. You passed Michael Vick. This guy had like
say that. Just think about that.
Yeah, this guy had 120 plus rushing yards in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Wait, Jalen Hurts had 120 rushing yards in the first quarter?
And in the first quarter, I believe. Like, it was like, I haven't seen something like this in a while. Well, this is the strides Jalen Hurts made from last year to this year. I mean, he's only getting better. It's his second year in the system. And my worst is the Ravens. I mean, I don't know what point you're paying all these guys. You get Roquan Smith to come over to you. You stop blowing games late. The Jaguars did well, but the Ravens blew this game. Gus Edwards, you fumbled at the worst possible time. It's just certain things you can't do. Lamar, you're getting paid all this money, man. Like, sooner or later, you have to be the guy to go finish it. All right, I know you can't blame the fumble on you, but you have to be the guy to go finish these games. Mark Andrews didn't really look the same.
Well, I mean,
there was some drop. But
what else was Lamar supposed to do? He went down there and scored to give him the lead.
I mean, there's
the Deshaun Jackson catch.
I was glad to see Deshaun
I swear
back.
he
that
threw
was
that ball
incredible.
80 yards in the air.
That was incredible.
But still, there's certain things Lamar could clean it up for sure. You want to get paid $200-something million. There's areas of Lamar's game he can clean up. And I'm not saying this is his fault why they lost this game, but I think he could have done more to win it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that defense just keeps blowing.
There was one play when Lamar Jackson, I think it was a scramble. It may have been a design run. I thought it was a scramble out to the right towards the end of the game where he put his shoulder down and stayed in bounds, which simultaneously not only proved just his toughness, but how heady he is as a quarterback as well, because it was that was at a point where they were trying to keep the clock going. And I'm like, this guy has become such a great NFL quarterback. I do agree with you, Blaine, to an extent that, yes, the Ravens offense right now can be scoring more than 27 points, and they can go on the road and beat a Jacksonville team. But he has impressed me in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to be honest, too. Who does he really got outside of Mark Andrews and Duvernay? I mean, I think he's about doing the most with what he's got. You put a lot of quarterbacks on that Ravens roster, they're scoring 17 points a game, 17 to 20. Something like that.
They built that roster different around.
But you still
around. They're running
Rashad
heavy tight end. They're running heavy tight end sets.
J.K. Dobbins is out.
Rashad Bateman hasn't been what they thought he was going to be. Duvernay is a better weapon than Rashad Bateman is. Right now.
That's not the Ravens. That's not who
Should
they are.
OBJ go to the Ravens?
That's not who they are. The Ravens want to come out in heavy tight end sets. The Ravens want to run the ball and play defense. Right. That's what the Ravens want to do. Then set up the play action downfield. The Ravens aren't this team who's going to go air it out. That's not who they want.
I'm not saying that, but at some point, you have to have a dog out there with Lamar Jackson that not only scares the defense during the play, but before the play. Lamar's the only one right now that they're looking around and going, just got to stop him and make sure we cover Mark Andrews, which is is a lot easier said than done. But let's get to Booster Club because I want to get to rapid fire.
Okay, let's get to Chris. $5 donation. Just wanted to say my daughter was due on November 26th. She wound up being born 2 days early so she could watch Michigan dominate.
Congrats, Chris.
Wow.
Nice
Congratulations.
Congrats, man.
That's dope. Jimbo Eagle, $5 donation. Appreciate it. Says, my opponent in fantasy football had Josh Jacobs this week. Any chance Jonathan Taylor can just score at least 45 points for me to take this win? Look,
My opponent
There's not
did too.
100%.
Yeah.
My opponent did too. Cone scored 190 points.
Is that what it was? 180?
180
He
points.
He scored 170.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, get it right.
And meanwhile, Travis Etienne has a broken toenail.
I hate it for
and
him.
misses the rest of the game.
Let's go to. Okay.
That wouldn't have mattered.
What'd you end with?
I ended up with like 100 points.
Dude, those weeks.
Derrick Henry doesn't score a touchdown.
I don't want to talk.
Jalen Waddle doesn't
I don't
score a
wanna talk
touchdown.
about that.
Nick Chubb scores a touchdown late like that. I'm so sick of Austin Eckler. I'm so sick of Austin Eckler.
He's the worst of all.
I can't, David. I hope you don't make the playoffs, dog.
Whoa!
I hope you don't.
That came
Because I
from
don't want
in
to
here.
want to talk
That
about
came from in here.
David. I don't want to see
wanna
Nick Chubb
talk
and
about
Austin
mother.
Eckler.
And Josh Jacobs.
I'm sick of it. After what they did to me the time before this, and then now, you know, we got no jobs. The car doesn't work. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Yes.
Aspen.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Michael Blackshear, $5 donation.
Thank you, Mike.
Says, word is that Tulsa is firing Phil Montgomery. Who should their next look be?
Go get a young guy. I'm going to get Kendall Briles. Let's go. He's right there in Arkansas. Arkansas fans.
Hey, Tulsa, what about?
Keep talking about Kendall Briles leaving. Like, no, Kendall's going to stay forever. Now, if I'm
Travis
Tulsa, I'm
Williams.
going to get Kendall.
Travi.
I'd interview Travis Williams. If Travis Williams in the next DC at Auburn, I don't care who they hire. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy as hell. If to me, it needs to be that. But you got to get C-Rob and some of these guys out of here. Auburn linebackers were the worst coached. Owen Papo, I haven't seen a bust that big since I went to the last Blockbuster.
All right, let's go to X-Prop, $2 donation. He says, who was the worst hire? All right. Jim Knowles or Gene Chizik?
I think you got to get Gene's playing with a little bit different deck right now than what Jim Knowles inherited at Ohio State. It's one thing to walk into Mordor and have a bunch of orcs with axes and hammers ready to go, and then walk into North Carolina, which is like walking in the lobby of Hufflepuff right now on defense. You got to get Gene Chizik some time to be able to get some guys in there. I don't doubt Gene Chizik when it comes to defense, being a defensive coordinator. Okay, when it comes down to it, I'll give him 2 or 3 years. North Carolina damn near won the ACC this year with bad personnel on defense. You can say what you want, but the personnel on defense at North Carolina is a whole lot different than what Ohio State has. And I don't think it's even close, to be honest with you. Just wait till you look in the NFL here in a couple years. That'll tell you the story. All right, one more.
Jim Knowles is going to be fine at OSU.
Jim Knowles will be fine.
He'll be fine,
Yep.
man.
Yeah,
They still beat every opponent.
love saying.
They beat every opponent before Saturday.
Yeah.
They what?
You want Jim Knowles to stay as long as you can. Dave's
Look.
look, he's going to be the greatest defense coordinator
No,
ever come
no,
to
no,
Ohio
no.
State.
Don't do that. We're talking about a team before Saturday.
It's like
that
they need
beat
to run
every
1-0.
opponent this season by double-digit points. You know, and plus, Jim Knowles was walking into something that, look, there's a lot of pent up. Michigan hasn't won in Columbus. You heard what Steve Day said. Since before his daughter was born.
Steve picked Ohio State. All right, Steve picked Ohio State.
Yeah, how are you
Let's
feeling
be
about
honest
that?
here.
Look,
You're
how
going to
you
come out rocking the Air Jordan Michigan stuff
Pick
and
Ohio
then
State.
pick Ohio
Look,
State?
Steve's going to come on. Steve and I corresponded over the weekend. He's going to
you
come
did?
on and he's going to have to
Look,
talk about that.
Dave, remember,
he's going to have to
I
own
can't
that.
wait.
Dave, just remember who was standing next to you in the fire. All right?
I remember. And
You
know
remember
what?
that, Dave.
Just
Yeah.
for that, where'd
He
the Buckeyes
remembered.
go?
It was,
No, it was us.
Hey,
It was us.
believe.
Where'd my?
Yeah.
Hey,
Believe.
We were
hey.
standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were standing
Believe.
next to each other.
No,
No,
you weren't.
ill, shame.
Jake said they'd win by double digits.
Yeah, Jake said Ohio State.
Big. Oh, wow, what a crazy prediction. Now let's talk about Oregon State that I said would win. How about that?
You
I
did?
was on that one.
Yeah.
too.
You did.
You were on that one. You had a good
But I kind of trailed you on that one. You've been talking about
a
Oregon
little
State
Oregon
in
trail.
Corvallis.
little Oregon State trail.
Little Oregon Trail.
Oh, no, you can't
Like
go any
it.
further. Jake shot too many ducks. There's too much meat on the wagon. I would always lose the Oregon Trail because there'd be too much meat. I'd be like, well, that's the way we're going out.
Yeah.
But much better than going out of dysentery. Or, hey, you got attacked by Indians. Or there was a, monster that ate your kids. I don't know. Like, I'd rather die because the wagon broke down because I'm too good at hunting. Sorry, that's why I played that game. Okay, which of the week? Who you got, Cone?
Ooh. Which of the week? We just mentioned his name. It has to be Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Which of the week, boys? 229 rushing yards, another 74 receiving yards, 304 on the day, an 86-yard walk-off TD. We have the clip here. Back-to-back walk-off overtime wins for the Raiders. And yes, Blaine, he did put up 48 in fantasy. He has 30 points 1 second. Next time I look down at the phone, it's 48. Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles.
You had Josh Jacobs, Eckler, and Nick Chubb.
Shut up and drive.
You're Paul Johnson. from Georgia. Just run the triple option.
Now, if Jamar Chase will get healthy, maybe we can make a postseason.
Oh, gosh.
Hashtag see it out.
By the way, is Jim Knowles and Michael Knowles related? Can we somehow blame Michael for
Jim's
this?
actually Michael's grandfather.
Okay.
We should get him. We should
ask Michael
him.
that.
Michael?
Michael?
I
think it's spelled the same as well.
How about this?
Get him in
How about
here.
this run right
Let's
here?
go. Yeah, let's play the clip. Let's watch my heart get ripped to pieces.
Safety.
You know how hard it is to go 86 yards in the NFL?
What are you doing?
13. I mean, 13. Look, if you want to watch the game, buddy, there's plenty of seats.
He didn't even buy a ticket to watch that. Roll Tide, roll.
Look at Derek Carr.
No.
Is Derek Carr going to cry at the
Not right
podium
now.
again?
All right.
Is Derek Carr going to
cares.
cry at the
He
podium?
cares.
Dude,
Also,
every
he
game.
got knocked out in the first quarter and came
I can't
back
believe
in.
he came back. He got
Every
smoked.
game, Derek Carr.
Mad
wins.
respect for
It's
that.
Just,
It's like an emotional roller coaster.
It's a
There's no
it's a
easy wins.
It's like what's that movie, Armageddon? Like when Bruce Willis is like, "No, I'm going," and Ben Affleck
drew the
so they're
short stick.
crying his ass off. That's every time the Raiders win. Derek Carr's like, "Oh God,
He's like, we
we did it, we did it."
How else you want it? How else you want it? Be invested.
Be excited.
That's why people hate the NFL, because the players aren't invested.
He's
They
over
don't
there
care.
in tears.
Derek
laying
Carr's
on
out
the
here
ground.
pouring his heart out.
There's
for the-
always
for
a
the team.
drama. It's so much drama.
There's a
with
lot
this
more.
guy.
There's a lot more Nicholas Sparks than Michael Bay and Derek Carr. Let's put it
Yeah, I mean, look, if it was just like cool stuff happening, getting excited.
Derek
for
Carr's up the
people,
podium. He's
yeah.
like, listen, if you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Yeah.
Man,
It's the truth.
304 total
Mine?
yards. Though. That
That's
was
ridiculous.
incredible.
You know who mine is? The Brown family from Illinois. Don't worry. You want to
This
be
was
relevant?
cool, yeah.
Just get one of these guys. Chase Brown, we know what he's done offensively on the ground. Didn't mean for that to rhyme. But we know what he's done all year. A guy that was a Heisman candidate, has put together a hell of a season. His brother, Sidney Brown, had a pick six and a fumble return for a touchdown against Northwestern.
Really?
Basically, the Brown family beat Northwestern. It sounds like a lawsuit, Brown versus Northwestern. Like it's got to be so cool. I was a year too old for us to play together in high school. Always thought that had been really cool. But how sick would it be
Yeah, but we're cold.
that your brother, that your brother in the same game as you ball, he balls, you're both scoring touchdowns. That's got to be the dopest feeling ever.
That's cool.
What does he say on Pineapple Express? Dopest dope I ever smoked.
Yeah.
That's got to just be the coolest thing ever, man. God, that'd have been
Well,
so
I mean,
cool.
you didn't. Well, you coached at the high school where I was at. We
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
that's
It's different to play.
You're balling,
It's
coaching.
different
I'm
to
balling,
play.
playing.
It's different to play together.
Wait, when you won a state title, you were coaching on that team?
yeah, it's my only year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's not the same thing though. Not the same thing. I want to be out there trash.
Same.
Same,
But different?
But different.
All right, my Witcher of the Week, Christian Watson, guys. Another
down.
big day from the kid. I know it was in a losing performance against the Eagles, but we all question where kind of the Packers went in this draft and who they passed up on. But Christian's came along. First 6 weeks of the season, not great. Drop balls he shouldn't drop, one get in the end zone. Last 3 weeks, guys, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's figuring it out.
6 touchdowns the last 3 weeks, and they're trying to find the ball. So I think it's starting to look up. They're trending up with Christian Watson with that pick. There's a lot of other things that need to get fixed with the Packers, obviously, surrounding the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love situation. But good for the Packers on this pick. You need a receiver, and it looks like you're going to have.
Yeah, I do want to see how he adjusts now that the book's out on him, though. Like it's just like you see this in Major League Baseball a lot. New rookie pitcher comes up, dominated in single A, double A, probably went straight to double A, dominated in double A, triple A, comes to the majors. First 2 or 3 starts, looks like a Cy Young Award winner. You think you got the greatest pitcher of all time. All of a sudden, the book comes out on him. Then he's got to adjust to the adjustment. Let's see how Christian Watson adjusts to the adjustment. But you do have to give him credit. Looks like he's gotten his feet wet and he's starting to understand it. But I want to see him adjust before we really start to think, hey, maybe he could be a guy that even we slept on, where he was picked in a draft that was really deep. I'm not saying you're saying that.
No, yeah.
But before everybody freaks out and thinks he's, the best thing to
You gambled on
slice
this
bread.
kid, I think. This is a kid from what, South Dakota
North
State?
Dakota State.
North Dakota State. So somewhat of a gamble on this, seeing him against high competition you really didn't know. I mean, the comps were there in height and speed and stuff, but he's starting to look more as a complete receiver. First 6 weeks, he's a straight line guy. go. Kind of remind me of Robbie Anderson a little bit. You run as fast as you can to the end zone, will hit you. But he's starting to get in his bag a little bit. You saw him catch a couple comebacks yesterday at dig route.
He can get in and out of
so
breaks well.
it's just he's starting to things are looking like it's starting to slow down a little bit for him, especially for a rookie.
Is there any more news on Aaron Rodgers' status?
Not yet. Not yet. I want to wait till more came out on it. Let's go ahead and get to rapid fire really quickly.
All right. Hold on 1 second. All right. Boys, New York Jets. We have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Mike White steps in to play quarterback for the New York Jets. 22 for 28, 315 through the air, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a 91.7 QBR.
Look, when are we going to see him with Zach Wilson's mom? Who's riding with the fear now?
It's a real Stifler's.
No, he's
Finch
Finch
situation?
100%. He is 100% Finch from American Pie. Dude was balling.
Balling.
Now look. I know the Bears were without Justin Fields. I know they've traded Robert Quinn. I know they traded Roquan Smith. The defense is what it used to be. That's hard to do against anybody, let alone an NFL team. Mike White, you got to ride with him. You got to ride with him now. If I'm Zach Wilson, I'm sitting over there. Did it have anything to do with his upbringing? You're just not the best quarterback on that roster, at least right now. Mike White needs to be the starter next week. I think he's going to. I don't think there's a way Robert Saleh could spin it to the players. You just played probably your most complete game of the season as a team. Felt good for him. I like to see underdogs do well. The Simeon thing was interesting too, seeing him get hurt, before the game, kind of the way that went down. That was just a debacle. The Bears, Matt Eberflus. It's hard to trust a guy with a name that sounds like it came out of a Dr. Seuss book.
Sounds like
the Eberflus that knew what to do.
All right, next 2 games for the Jets, by the way, at the Bills. No, sorry. At the Vikings and then at the Bills.
Yeah. What did Liam Neeson say? Or did the guy say to Liam Neeson? Good luck.
We're going to find out.
Yeah,
they could win both those games.
Last one for the, for sure. But they could lose both those games.
If I really
but I know the way we're talking about it, it's just a long shot in the dark. That Jets defense, they can win both those games.
Yeah, I'm not talking about.
I'm going to take the Jets to
I'm
lose
just saying,
both those games.
They will not be favored in either of those games, right?
Where they at?
They're both on the road.
At the Bills and at the Vikings.
Oh, they're both on the road?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they could win them, but I'm just saying they're not gonna be favored. So we're going to find out a lot more about Mike White than playing the Bears at home, is what I'm saying.
That's exactly right.
Last one for the NFL. Did you see the Dolphins pulled Tua in the third quarter because they were up by so much? And I mean, yeah, it was smart so they don't get hurt. And then all of a sudden you have a comeback situation. And I had the Dolphins minus 12.5. The line was minus 14.
They won by 15, right?
They won by 15.
I had a minus 9.
Well, look,
the Texans start coming back.
I was watching this game.
My thing on this is, Tua's got to learn how to get tackled. Did you see the one guy that tackled him? Like, I swear, when he gets tackled, he looks like what do you call it? The inflatable tube man out in front of the car.
The wacky wavable inflatable arm flailing tube.
I mean, it's everywhere. Like, go down, dog. Just go down. Just go down. Like, stop trying to fight everything toward the end. Like, he contorts his body. It looks like one of those people that fits himself in a barrel during the Cirque du Soleil thing. Like, Tua could be one of those. But I think it was a smart move. Yeah. I think it was a smart move by Mike McDaniel. I really do. Some people won't like it. Some people say, hey, man, he's a quarterback. He's got to go out there. He looked like he was fine or whatever. After what Tua's been through, with the way you're cooking right now, I feel good with a 30-12 lead against the Texans late in the second half. Let's turn around, hand it off, play a little defense.
I can't remember the last time I saw a starting NFL quarterback get pulled with a 1.25. That's wild.
I think it was smart.
Wild.
Screwed me.
Texans 1-9. Wait, what did you have?
Well, one of my bets was, like 4 players, one of them to score 2 touchdowns. Jeff Wilson gets in early, and next thing you know, Tua comes out, and all just slows down.
Would have been big. I think it was like plus, 600, something like that?
For one of those players on the list to score 2 touchdowns. That one didn't hit?
Nope.
Gotcha. Texans now 1-9. Think they'll have the first overall pick?
Bryce Young. Enjoy the Texans. Enjoy the Texans.
College basketball. Since we last talked, boys, North Carolina, #1 team in the nation, lost 2 4-overtime defeat against the Crimson Tide last night.
Best game of the year that I've seen so far last night against Alabama. Alabama's a problem, like in basketball. You look at the SEC right now, and we've talked about it, and they've been building. It's interesting to see Kentucky. We'll see the depth of the league. It obviously eats itself once you get into tournament play. But Alabama's for real. I think Auburn has a chance to be for real. Tennessee's for real. I know they had that loss to Colorado, but I'm watching. They have the same players. Arkansas.
They're on tonight.
Oh, my gosh. Anthony Black's unbelievable. And they still got to get the Nick Smith kid back. Wait till you see that kid play. there is a legitimate chance I think the SEC could have 2 Final Four teams. But what we're seeing in basketball is what I love to see. It's why the sport's so great. It's why March Madness is so great, is parity. And look, a lot of these wins, and it's funny in basketball because in football, there's less games, obviously. So you can have a good loss, right? That's a good loss. We'll say, well, their only loss is this. And college basketball doesn't work like that. You either win or you lose. Like you see it in the selection committee, they're not like, well, they only lost on the road to North Carolina by 4. No. Did you beat them or did you lose to them? I always find that fascinating. We're in for a hell of a ride. I'm telling you right now, too, buddy. Purdue, I think they're ranked like 24th or something right now. I'll have to look at it again, but Purdue is a problem.
They're good, man.
They are a problem. You talk about 7-footer Island. They got a trailer out there. They just go out there to recruit all the time. Purdue down the stretch. I'm telling you, I love college basketball. We're about to start bringing some guests on as college football wanes a little bit. We're going to dive really deep into college basketball. I cannot wait. I freaking love this sport.
Yeah, I mean, Purdue with a 19 win over Duke. Also talking about North Carolina, Caleb Love still had 34 points last night.
Look, it's going to come down to the tournament, man. Like, let's a lot of this is window dressing right now. You want to set yourself up for a good seed. UConn beat Bama. Bama beats North Carolina. It's just, at the end of the day, this tournament's about to be deep, and I cannot wait to see it.
U.S. and England played to a draw, which means the United States has to beat Iran tomorrow, right, Jake?
Yes.
Has to beat Iran tomorrow to advance out of the group stage.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep talking bad about us, because when I say good things about us, we don't do good. We tie with Wales, okay, which just lost to Goldfish. When I talk bad about us, we tie with England. Here's my thing, England. That's all y'all got when it comes to sports. I'll say this. That'd be like us, y'all tying us in American football. I don't want to hear anything
Would never
English.
happen.
Saved y'all, beat y'all in the Revolutionary War. Y'all were 13 colonies up.
Yep.
All right? World War II had to come save y'all. Had to come save y'all. And then in soccer, we're drawing out here. In 2022, we're playing with the Rugrats. Y'all do this. Harry Kane, this is y'all's sport. Nothing else. What other sport they play in England? I don't even know one. I can't even tell. Croquet? What?
Fun sport.
T-running? Like, I don't know.
It's called soccer now.
No, it is soccer now, officially.
Soccer, not football.
It is soccer now.
Soccer.
You will call it soccer. But look, here's my deal. If we can't beat Iran, now I've got to reverse jinxes. I'm talking bad about us again. If we can't beat Iran, we don't deserve to be there. But here's what I think. Side bet. How confident are we? Winner writes the nuclear deal. How confident are we?
If we can't beat Iran, Joe Biden should be impeached.
I agree.
Is that
I agree.
He should be impeached.
I agree. At any sport. At any sport.
You just can't be in the White House getting your ass kicked by Iran. Like that.
You can't do that.
I saw some England fans who were saying, it'll never be called football. Your sport's called hand egg. It's an egg that you hold with your hand and run with.
Well, we just handed y'all this L, basically, with this time.
Yeah, I don't...
Like, how can you ever
football.
talk trash about anything again if you're in England? How?
I don't listen to people who never win.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell me? How to lose? Like, dude, this is all y'all got. This is everything, right? This is everything. Y'all been doing this since we lads, right?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like, you don't even care about this.
I'm going to keep trashing us again. By the way, I think Zimmerman tried to blow it again late, if you saw it. I think he had that nonchalant pass.
Never trust a man bun.
No, I'm just like, y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all know what I'd have done with him after the first game. But Iran, Tuesday, I'm going to be cheering for us. But again, I don't know what's going to happen. And maybe that's the fun of it. But if we can't beat Iran, okay, in soccer or any sport that involves the ball, then there has to be repercussions. Somebody's got to get impeached.
I agree.
Somebody's got to get impeached. That's just the American way.
Last one for rapid fire. It's talking about Odell Beckham Jr. He got kicked off a plane in Miami this weekend. Did you guys hear about this?
I did hear about it.
I saw a little bit about it. I just don't care really. Because it's
said he was in and out of consciousness. They told him to fasten his seatbelt. He wouldn't listen.
In and out of consciousness?
That's what the
Did somebody call him a doctor?
His attorney saying he was escorted off the plane.
Dude, just get on the plane and put your seatbelt on. Which, Odell, I'm going to be honest with you, why are there seatbelts on planes? Doesn't make sense to me. Why not have parachutes? They'd be like having a parachute in the car. Doesn't make sense. Seatbelt, I get it. I don't have to fall 30,000 feet to my death, okay, which would be great to have a parachute then. If he was making that argument, I can get behind it. But floating in and out of consciousness, what's this, a Drake song? Like, just get on the plane. They have to put the seatbelts there. You might as well put it on. But OBJ, don't be causing problems right before you about to try and sign with somebody. And he needs to go ahead and do it. I just feel like he's waiting to see who has the best chance.
I don't know what he's been waiting for.
No, he's waiting to see who has the best chance.
Are you healthy or are you not healthy?
He's waiting to see who has the best chance.
If you don't know by now.
He did with the Rams. He took a gamble before the season that paid off. Now he's like, why wouldn't I just sit around and wait? Why wouldn't I just wait? Who's it going to be? I didn't go to the Bucs.
Are we going to start seeing this more?
Cowboys? It's got to be Cowboys.
Where star players who only have
a season
Cowboys. Or two left, they just wait on their last couple of years.
Genius.
And sign when the playoffs start.
Genius. Especially like Odell's 1-1. But if I'm like a journeyman, like for example, if I'm boy from the Cardinals, the pitcher, why am I losing my mind? Not Carpenter, Adam Wainwright.
I'm
not re-signing with the Cardinals. I'm like, all right.
But he won several World Series.
I know, but like to end it, but especially if you're somebody who hasn't won one, I would definitely do it. I would definitely wait around. But if you want to wait around, watch the rest of the show. Remember, you can listen to it if you stay here. Head over to the Daily Wire Plus. We just hit over 1 million subscribers on our way to 1 billion. Are you going to be one of them? And if you show us that you subscribe to the Daily Wire, we'll put your name on the board. I got to put somebody's name on the board while we're on the break. I'm going to walk over there. But you can listen to this on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, share it with your friends, and let's go beat Iran on Tuesday. We'll be right back. All right, Blaine, Booster Club.
All right, Greg Hart, $2 donation.
Greg.
Appreciate it, Greg. Says, was San Ristill's play the best defensive play ever? Did I say that wrong?
Yeah, I need you to say that again.
Mike Sanderstill.
I said it right, San Ristill.
Yeah. He'd be from Michigan. Remember when he knocked the ball out of the...
Yeah.
That was a hell of a... You talk about timely play. That was a very timely play.
Needed it.
We talk about this all the time when coaching DBs. You're not beat just because he catches the ball. He's got to take that ball to the ground. He's got to withstand all of it. So we talk about working your hands up through the pass, or when you feel that ball's caught, trying to rip it all the way through the ground and out. How many times have we seen guys make catches, the DB's hand come in there late, move his hand a little bit, and right when he hits the ground, that ball rolls out. Just because the ball's caught doesn't mean you're cooked yet, but it was a big-time, timely play. That ball hung in the air forever. Did it not seem like it hung in the air forever?
Mike Sanderstill came from the opposite hash. And trailed that crossing route to knock that ball out.
Those are the type plays you have to have.
And I'll tell you what impressed me even more than that play. And like I said, I have not seen our secondary make those types of plays in the biggest games, even when we had Jabril Peppers, even when we had Dax Hill. It was an incredible play. I'll tell you what impressed me even more, when he stood up on the bench on the Michigan side and was giving the defensive unit a speech late in the third quarter and saying, hey, we've got this game. This is our game. We're going to take this thing over. That's another thing I haven't really seen, especially on the road in Columbus. That's at one moment when I was like, wait, I think Michigan's going to win this game.
No, well, I mean, again, I think Michigan's to the point now where not that they were ever scared of Ohio State, but I think Ohio State's a little scared of Michigan. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they like looking over at that maize and blue. I don't think they like looking at it right now. Because it's just absolutely physicality. That's what it is. And I'm watching Michigan trash talk them. Typically, Ohio State's the one that's trash talking the other team. I think Ohio State is a little bit. I think Ryan Day is a little bit scared of Michigan. I'm gonna be honest with you. And now, after the whole offseason, when you built your whole offseason program, and this season you're running through beating everybody by double digits, Michigan comes into your house in good weather and plants the flag in the middle. I think Michigan's about to go on a run, buddy. Maybe not what we saw with Ohio State, but I would not be shocked if you look up and Michigan's won like 6 out of the last 8 or something like that.
But certainly you wouldn't say Ryan Day's on the hot seat right now.
I would no.
Because there are a lot of
people will want to fire him because he's lost the rivalry game twice, which is stupid. But now if he loses it next year, like you lose 3 in a row, now we're starting to have a problem. Maybe not hot seat, but hey, bud. Remember all those warm feelings that we had earlier? Yeah, those are gone. Figure it out.
Well, I think a lot of it, once the 12 team comes in playoff, it'll take a little bit of the sting away.
Let's hope not.
I disagree.
I mean, you get in the playoffs. You can
I disagree with that.
You can make up for it. I think you get.
I mean, you can get another.
We could see that this year.
Yeah,
they're not completely out of it.
They had Ohio State at an 89% chance to make the playoff even after that loss.
All right, let's go to Jimbo Eagle.
Also, I just 1 second while we're on it. Someone, a Buckeye fan yesterday, told me congratulations on Twitter and shared C.J. Stroud's post-game press conference with me, and I watched it. You want to talk about taking accountability at the podium after a loss? That kid's a class act, and I'm starting to think. I already thought he was going to be a good NFL quarterback. Could he be a great NFL quarterback? I don't know, but seeing the way he handled that post-game press conference.
Well, if I'm an NFL scout and it's coming down to a couple quarterbacks, and I think Bryce does a great job of handling the media as well, but the way C.J. Stroud handled that speaks as much about any throw that I've seen him make throughout the year. You talk about matching character and accountability with talent and ability. I think C.J. Stroud, again, didn't play great, but may have improved his draft stock.
And still threw for like 350 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about the rivalry in the playoff? They even said, well, you have a chance here to make this playoff. Even with 4 teams, there's an outside chance. He goes, yeah, that's fine, but I don't. It's all about this game. Yeah. This is the game.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, Jimbo Eagle, $5 donation. It says, take the following scenario. It says, LSU beats Georgia, Michigan loses, TCU loses, and USC loses. Who gets in the college football?
Jimbo's choosing violence today.
I love it.
I think Georgia would still get in. LSU's not going to get in with 3 losses. I think Georgia would still get in.
Michigan's in.
I think Michigan would get in.
I agree.
USC would be out with 2 losses.
I agree.
TCU would be a very interesting discussion with only 1 loss.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Alabama would be in.
No.
I don't think Alabama would be in.
So then at that point, you'd be talking about a 1-loss TCU
Ohio State
team
would probably be
and a
in.
1-loss OSU team.
Yep. You'd have Georgia. Then you'd have, if Michigan lost, who's the number 1 seed? Who is it?
Could Georgia lose the SEC championship
still be the number 1
still
seed?
be the number 1
Yeah, I mean, it'd be Georgia or Michigan.
Oh, man.
Oh,
well, losing to LSU in the conference championship would certainly be a better loss than losing to Purdue in your conference.
Yeah, no, Michigan would not be number 1 after losing to Purdue. God, that's speaking of Armageddon, we're going to have to send Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis up in a space shuttle to figure it out.
All right, Jared Van Slyke with a $5 donation. He says, Cone, proud of the way you represent Michigan, man. Love the show.
Hey, Jared Van Slyke, that's my boy.
Thomas Briscoe Jr., $5 donor. He said, would you please tell Matt Walsh that I suggest sales at work? I think he will enjoy it. Yeah, we'll get that written down and tell Matt. Let's go to Ryan Caliendo, $2 donation.
Rhino.
Says, my shoestrings have more integrity than Freeze.
You must,
What kind of shoes you got?
Yeah, what kind of shoes you got? That's the real truth. Again, so you know him. So you know him. Like to me, I'm not going to act a certain way about somebody that I don't know. Now again, if you go out and kill 9 people or something like that, that's pretty obvious. But the Hugh Freeze lack of integrity thing to me, so you must know him. And if you know him and you don't think he has integrity, okay, I'm not saying he's got the most integrity of anybody of all time, but the dude made a mistake. He made 1 mistake. You must have never made a mistake. I would love to meet you. You must have never made a mistake. It blows my mind a little bit. If you actually knew the guy, like if you sat down and you talked with him, I think you would be amazed. I think you'd be amazed. Go ahead.
All right, let's go to Fraley Ginger Gang. He says, on Jake's advice, took Purdue over 7.5 wins at plus 115.
Woo!
Made it out so big, my girlfriend suddenly wants to marry me.
Oh!
But I think I can do better. Yeah, but I think I can do better
Selena
now.
Gomez. Luke Fickell that thing. Luke Fickell that thing right now. Luke right now. Purdue, baby.
That's
I think all 3 of us
man.
had Purdue winning the West. I know I had him on the over as well. All right, Blaine, what else?
Let's go to Return to Glory 88. It says, flaming, thank you. I love this. That's to me. Thank you.
Dang.
Yeah, sorry. I love the trust tree. These guys are hilarious. I'm hopping over to the Daily Wire chat now. Cheers.
Do it.
Man, it's good to see.
Speaking of Daily Wire chat, our boy, Cooper Murphy. Signed up Daily Wire Plus. Remember,
Cooper Murphy.
Daily Wire Plus. Go on the board.
Love
got the
that.
Hall of Fame here. We've got a huge Hall of Fame overhaul. We got something coming for you Hall of Famers, too. Go ahead.
Let's go to Steve's action figure frenzy.
There you go.
All right. Just bear with me here, fellas. Ohio State did not overlook Maryland. The Maryland game was a precursor to what was actually going to happen in the Michigan-Ohio State.
Remember, Maryland played Michigan to 7 points in the big house too. Like at some point, we got to give Mike Loxley some credit. You're not just the OC at Alabama, unless you can coach football. So. But hey, good to see Jared Van Slyke in the Booster Club chat though. We played at Michigan together. He's a good guy.
God, Jared Van Slyke sounds just like the name of a guy that played at Michigan.
He did, and he did.
Sounds like a guy you just give him a 7-iron and watch him work.
Yeah. Actually, we did play a lot of golf.
Yeah, that's true.
Jay Chain said, did y'all see Vrabel say that he was Lawan's daddy on game day?
Yeah.
I can only imagine the response after the game. I didn't see that.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see that.
So Taylor Lewan was a guest on game day. He wasn't the guest picker, but he did a hit in advance of the Michigan game. So then they had Mike Vrabel, who obviously went to OSU, who came on and said, hey, tell Taylor that I said hi. I'm back here. Who's the Titans head coach, right? Comes and said, tell Taylor I said hi, and I'm Taylor's daddy.
That's so great.
And Taylor said, if you ask anyone in Davidson County, they know that's my joke first.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, it just shows you the relationship between NFL coaches and NFL players.
Yes.
And, like, college coaches and college players is so different.
I thought the same thing.
It's so different. It's cool. Like, if you go watch a Nick Saban practice and then go watch an NFL practice. You can be like, this is totally different. It's so different. And it should be, because again, the players are making more than you. Now, are we going to see that in NIL eventually, where the players are making more than the coaches? That's what I'm going to find interesting. But no, at Mike Vrabel, I would love to play for Mike Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the team meetings, some of the stuff he says is probably really hilarious. And Taylor's in there too. Stop. Blanier?
Let's go to, I just found one that was good. Yeah, let's go to PD. He says, Ryan Day was thrown out basically trying to run home against Michigan. Should Ryan Day be on the hot seat?
No. Look, again, you've won every game up to this point. I know it's Michigan. I know people are pissed off. Believe me, I feel you on that. Okay, I feel you on that. But no, Ryan Day should not be on the hot seat. Again, though, Cone, I'm just telling you, just seems like Michigan kind of figures something out. It's kind of like they just punched him in the face, like Ohio State was just bullying Michigan at school from third grade all the way through like 8th grade. And all of a sudden in 9th grade, Michigan came in there and was like, first day, I'm putting my hands on him. Tried to bully him. You want to put my underwear on the flagpole? Hit him right in the face. All of a sudden, the narrative changes. Who's the bully now?
Well, at some point, if you want that rivalry to remain the greatest in sports,
it's the best thing for
pride,
them.
You need to go
one?
It's a 365 situation, man. And I know that when Jim Harbaugh was losing those games, it wasn't because he wasn't taking it seriously. This guy played quarterback for Bo Schembechler. I honestly think it speaks to just how great of a college football coach Urban Meyer was.
Yeah,
that's who he wasn't beating, Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Because it just speaks to how good of a job he was doing there.
Agreed.
Let's go to Cody Nason, 95. What's up, Cody? Appreciate you sending me that this morning, too, as well. Hashtag Ask Cranny Company says, what is your grade for Trevor Lawrence at this point in the season?
Career-wise or just this season? I would say give me B-. So, they talked about this a little bit during the game. Trevor, we know, is talented. We've seen him make really nice plays. But it's situationally making the right decision. Here is where I see Trevor Lawrence growing. 3rd and goal, okay? A touchdown puts you back up. Field goal puts you up by less, I believe, yesterday. He rolls out. Instead of trying to force a ball, he threw the ball away, and he took the field goal. Old Trevor Lawrence would try and make an incredible play hero ball. Not that there's not a time. That's called 4th down, okay? That's when you have to have it or the game's over. You make that hero play. He made the smart play, but by taking that field goal, that gave them the chance to go for the 2-point conversion at the end to win the game. All those points add up. Those totals add up. I think that's where you're seeing Trevor Lawrence grow. I think he does have a ton of ability. Let's see if this gets the Jaguars a little bit hot. This is a nice win at home against a legit opponent. They've been up and down. I think Trevor still has a long way to go. Still think they can put some better weapons around him. But I think you see the growth, and situationally is where you wanted to see it for Trevor Lawrence, and you saw that yesterday. All right, let me read the Boost Club leaderboard real quick. Tyson's right hook, 4-0. Revco 250. By the way, Revco and Neftink. So we talked about this when we saw him the other day. If you want to call out a Booster Club member and you guys want to go on a 7-day 1v1, let us know. Right now, I think they're tied at 4-2. Okay, 7 days going against each other. Call them out in the chat. You keep track of it. Give us the results, and we'll read it on the show. Right now, it's a fist fight in between Revco and Neftank, and you'll love to see it. It was their idea. They're like, man, we've just been doing these side bets off the Booster Club. If you want to call out another Booster Club member, you can only call out one at a time, but at a 7-day span, let's count the bets up. We'll help you guys keep track of it. So that was a pretty cool thing. Ulrich Sharber's 1-0. Johnson TC is 0-0. I hope that doesn't say 0-9. Let's see. Quadruple J, Triple B, 2345's 0-1. So is Portman Toet. Sasha Booster Club. Kyle Jenkins are both 0-2. And Kamal Winnie, Win 2144 is 0-3. Bets for tonight. I'm already out of it. I've been just taking crazy parlays to try and get back in from a unit standpoint. So who really cares? But give me Colts money line tonight. Jeff Sunday, can he come through? Should have beat the Eagles, but again, shoulda, woulda, coulda. That would have been a really nice story. I have a basketball parlay as well. By the way, we're brought to you by DraftKings. Make sure you use that promo code BOOSTER when you go over there. I was in Mississippi where I could not bet. This weekend, we made that 11-team parlay that we hit on the way up there. Here's what I got for my college basketball parlay. Been kind of hot in these. Virginia Tech, UT Martin, UTSA, Pacific, Washington, Marist, San Diego, and Nevada money line, and give me the over in Pittsburgh Northwestern at 128. That's coming off at plus 173. Jonathan, what do you got?
It's a dogfight.
It's a dogfight.
Dogfight down at the end.
That's
here.
So true.
Baby Cone just rubbing it in my face here, but I don't know what the unit update is. Maybe we'll get that today. You got it already?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
What is it?
All right, so you're in first.
Okay.
All right, you're up 5.46 units. All right, so adjusted record, you're 51-41.
51-41.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what. This is what I've got set to me. All right, Baby Cone's 47-40. He's up 1.6 units, 49-40.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. With 3 days left.
I'm up 7.2 units.
Okay.
I'm 49-45.
Oh, so it's just a dogfight.
So your adjusted record with the units is 49-45. Wow, this one's coming down.
With 3 days left in the month.
Man, this is how it should be.
And I'm putting it on Jeff Sunday. Colts minus 2.5, minus 110. And I want Matt Ryan to outthrow Kenny Pickett by at least 15 yards. So that's Matt Ryan in a head-to-head, minus 14.5 passing yards versus Kenny Pickett tonight. That's minus 115.
All right.
All right, Blaine.
I'm going to change a bet.
All right, I'll read Baby Cones.
Yep.
He's going to go Colts, Pittsburgh, under 39. That's at minus 110. And then he is going
Arkansas basketball.
Arkansas, minus 18.5. I don't know who they're playing tonight, but they're expecting to drown him in a shallow puddle. So we'll see how it goes. All right, Blaine.
I'm changing my second bet. My second bet is going to be the Indianapolis Colts minus 2.5 and give me the over.
That's together.
At 39.5. Yes, that's together as my second bet.
What's that at?
That is plus 225.
Okay,
That's the Colts.
Colts minus 2.5 and the over at 39.5.
Okay.
And then I'm taking a anytime touchdown to two guys. Give me Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown, and give me George Pickens.
So Jonathan Taylor and George Pickens both have to score a touchdown.
That's going off at
plus 540.
Dang.
Yeah.
Those are some good picks. Arkansas's playing Troy tonight. 6-1 Troy.
Yeah. Wow,
Arkansas's 5-1.
Bud Walton Arena, though, man, that's like going into the, speaking of Mordor, that's like walking in the bottom of the volcano.
Hold on, let's make sure it
where
is.
they keep the orcs that can breed.
Yep, it's in Fayetteville.
Interesting. All right, Blaine, Booster Club before we go.
Yeah, Bradley Cogdill. He said, would love to bet, but y'all unfortunately live in South Carolina. We don't do online betting, man. You do not actually have to bet money. You can boost bet anywhere.
No,
you go to the Google form and you fill out and you're good to go.
Yep, go on our Twitter. You can see I put it out every morning. Just go fill out that form, and it keeps track of it so you can call them out. What else?
Poll. All right. Who was a better hire? Matt Rhule or Luke Fickell?
Luke Fickell, 69%.
Luke Fickell, 70%.
Luke Fickell, 73%.
Oh, God, I'm all over it.
20.
All over it. Is that question just way more obvious? Like the answer just way more obvious? Like to me, it was somewhat obvious. The more I said I'm talking about it, I'm like, duh, it's Luke Fickell.
Go Deeks 35 says, how are letting DJU get a pass? He's definitely the worst for the weekend. 8 for 29, less than 100 passing yards. He sucks, man.
Guess what?
It's not this weekend. We've been screaming this for weeks.
Yeah, like the DJU. I won't even put him as the worst because I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the worst is like what surprised me. DJU going 8 for 29 does not surprise me.
I guess the worst could be Dabo Sweeney for keep putting him out there.
Well, but if Cade Klubnik were that much better, he'd be playing, right? Like, didn't we talk about Tom Luganville with this?
Well,
Like, he's
again,
not-
like, and it's not like there's not precedent. Like, we've seen
Yes.
him put
He put Trevor Lawrence in over Kelly
put Deshaun
Bryant.
Watson in.
Yes.
So, like, it's not, I feel like it's hard to argue it backwards, but, you know, it is what it is. Anything else?
Sister Rick says, outside the Pac-12 championship, do any of these other conference champions have any kind of playoff implications, championships, conference championships?
Yeah, she's saying that because if Michigan loses, they're probably still in. If Georgia loses, they're probably
TCU's.
still in. TCU is the one I would say. TCU and what you did say USC. You know, that TCU, the guiding light for the Big 12. You know, now I think it becomes, it's really about seeding. Like it's really about seeding now. There are a couple things that can break late. You know, Oregon, I don't see a path in. Like, I don't see, to me,
It's banned.
to me, you know, now that Utah's playing USC, I mean, it's getting the Big 12. I'm looking at the Big 12 and I'm looking at the Pac-12.
Right now, I mean, your top 6 would be Georgia, Michigan, TCU,
USC,
Ohio State, Bama.
Mhm. That's what it has to be.
That's what it has to be. LSU has 3 losses now. That's right.
You're done.
All right, I'd put them. Yeah, no, they're done. But just looking at that 6th spot. All right, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check us out on all social media: TikTok, Facebook, Snap, Face, Chat, and all that other good stuff. Make sure you sign up for the Daily Wire Plus. Great stuff. Jordan Peterson. I mean, Atlas Shrugged. Scripted series coming.
Yep.
I mean, it's just
Blaine
kids
Crane.
content. This guy wears fire
kidding
jackets
me?
all the
No,
time.
I mean-
Cone 6'7". I mean, again, what else do you want? And like the chances of DJU playing in the NFL, we're gone.